You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump. And you might think, what if I fall? Well, what if you don't? What if you fly?
Switching command to internal.
From the Collaborative Studios, Open the Eye, where metaphysical, paranormal, and the unexplained meet. Open the Eye with Tanya Tyler.
It was January 7th, 1610, when Italian astronomer Galileo first discovered 3 other large moons around Jupiter. It was the first time a moon was discovered orbiting a planet other than Earth. From the words of a popular writer, Douglas Adams, author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, space is big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-boggling big it is. So true, it is big. There have been numerous reports of UFOs, unidentified flying objects, or nowadays we say UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. So who's flying these crafts? A few are probably man-made by our government, and mostly galactic beings, aliens. Now these words might freak some people out. Aliens, galactic beings. The blinders are off. We are in a conscious world right now. Our world is waking up so fast. The more questions you ask, the more knowledge you'll have. But this day and age, we are consciously waking up more and more. We'd be surprised of how these galactic beings are so similar to us. Now, in this world, some sort of government. According to the whitehouse.gov, there are hundreds of federal agencies and commissions charged with handling responsibilities as varied as managing American space program, protecting its forests, gathering intelligence, and advancing the general welfare of the American people. So how different are these galactic beings from us? Do they have some sort of government that protect and serve, wanting the best for the universe? Welcome to the Galactic Federation. Welcome Dottie Woodward, an energy worker, a channel to the Galactic Federation, and founder of StarFire Energies. Dottie, how similar is the Galactic Federation to our own government?
First of all, there are many different worlds on many different stars and galaxies, and so the different, they have their own governments. Each one has their own governments, and then they come together and work together to protect and make sure that the universe, the cosmos, what we know it, in our part of the galaxy is working correctly, and we're pretty much protected. We have seen an infiltration, and so the Galactic Federation is, you can see many worlds coming together with their important people, their what you would call maybe not the elites, but the higher energies in different dimensions coming together. There's different levels. There's hierarchy to the Galactic Federation. There's many different councils. There's the Galactic Federation, the Galactic Federation of Worlds. You can imagine all those stars and galaxies out there. So there's all different hierarchies, and then it's kind of like, you know, our world where we have the UN, and they also have their coming together, and so that's the Galactic Federation of Worlds. They told me there are 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 councils, and maybe even more. You can imagine it's kind of like our government on a much bigger scale.
Everybody's represented. All beings are represented.
Right.
Galactic beings.
Yes, exactly. And what happens is, first of all, they're in a higher dimension. The lower dimensions have negativity, and so the higher you go up into the different frequencies, you don't have the negative energy.
Do you actually go up into the Federation?
Yeah, I do. It didn't happen all at once. It happened gradually. I did a lot of different healing modalities. Started out as an elementary school teacher, and then I became part of the space program in 1985.
When you're saying space program, you're saying NASA.
Right. I was with a group of teachers that became part of the teachers in the space program, teaching the children. And so then what happened was I retired. I taught 28 years, but I was teaching the aerospace program probably in 2001 up until I retired. And then I went to Greece and I had Kundalini experience, which I had no idea what that was. Brought me into this part of my life with learning new modalities and becoming more spiritual.
Can you explain what a Kundalini experience is?
Okay, what happened was I went to Greece, and with about 30 Ohio University students and my sister and my brother. It was a gift. It was a gift given to me because I retired. So I went to Greece with a group, and we were touring Greece. The last end of our tour, it was a Greek Byzantine Catholic church, and everybody had gone in, and I was sitting on a little bench outside the church. I was just meditating. Everybody went in, and then after about 10 minutes, I said, I better go in. I'm going to miss the tour, and I won't know what's happening. So as I stepped across the door jamb, the bottom of the church step, all of a sudden it felt like a strike of lightning. I thought it went through my crown, down through the center of my body into my feet, and I was shaking so hard, and I was sobbing so loud that I got really scared because I couldn't control it.
This is just on a tour.
Yeah, everybody was inside up at the Greek churches have like an altar in the middle, and then they have an altar on each side. And when this happened to me, everybody was up front at the altar on the right. And so as I stepped across the door jamb, there were a group of children on my left studying, and there were some children sitting in the seats in front of the altar on the left. And I could not control my body. I was in such fear that people would see what happened to me that I was shaking. I couldn't control that. I was sobbing so loud. I said, oh, my gosh. So my intent was to go up behind the altar and hide until I could control what was happening to me. I scared the children so bad that they left. I sat there sobbing really hard until about maybe 10 minutes later, I finally got my body in control. And it's amazing. Even my sister did not know what happened to me because the whole tour, we were getting ready to get on a ferry to go to another part of Greece. I just followed along behind everybody like a little puppy dog because I was in such bliss that lasted for 3 days. I don't remember much. I don't even know if people were talking to me. I was in such bliss that I knew I had to follow them. So that's all I know. I just know.
You mean happiness.
Right. It was more than happiness. It was beyond. It was like if a bolt of lightning would come into your crown and go through your whole body down to your feet. I heard that with Kundalinis, they start in your root chakra and they go up your spine, up to your crown, and open you up completely. So I don't know if that's what it was. All I know is my whole body lit up and was energized to the point where it was very hard to control it. and not be a spectacle. One time when I was doing StarFire out in Cincinnati, and one of the people that I StarFired had a Kundalini experience, and she couldn't even stand up. My team had to work on her and bring her back.
Wow. And you weren't doing like yoga, Kundalini yoga, because you can do Kundalini yoga and have a Kundalini experience.
Tanya, no, I was a teacher, an elementary school teacher, for 28 years. I had a nice retirement party, and then
being part of NASA, all the great stuff, going on a tour, going to check out a church, and next thing you know, you're lit up like a little firecracker and ready to heal the world.
Right.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the Greece. Tell me more. You're in bliss.
Yeah, it was a really big adjustment because I was still feeling blissful, the result of that, but it had downplayed. We had gotten on the plane. We were coming home to Atlanta. We landed in France, and we were going in an Airbus out to the airplane on the landing strip. And all of a sudden, the Airbus started moving backwards to the airport again. And we said, "What's going on?" And they said, "Oh, we're having trouble with the bathroom on the plane," which didn't last because as soon as we got back into the airport, there were all these soldiers carrying Uzis and strapped with bullets. And here it was 9/11.
Oh.
So we were stuck in the airport, sleeping on marble floors for a while because we didn't want to separate the 30 university students. We slept wherever we could until they got us rooms in France, till we could get home. We were the first. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We were the first flight coming into Atlanta. As the plane stopped, there were people that filed out, and they were carrying flags because we were the first flight back. And it was so amazing to be back home
On our soil. Yeah, because they shut down the airports for quite some time after 9/11.
Right, and we couldn't even get into England from France. We couldn't fly to South America. We couldn't even get into Canada. So we were stuck there. But it was so amazing to see how wonderful it was, to get back home.
Yeah.
I want to go back and talk about the Galactic Federation. The one thing I wanted to tell you about the Galactic Federation of Worlds, we have an Earth Alliance that actually is working with the Galactic Federation, and they have signed the Council of Five, the highest council of five, have come together, and they have agreed on what they call the Prime Directive, which is going to make us more free. There's a moral, ethical guide, a little legal template for the primary cultures. Anyway, if a culture is in the third dimension and is really not moving into a higher dimension where it would be more at peace and more loving and no judgment, well, then they're not allowed to help them. Like they have to let them develop on their own and evolve on their own. And so then in the Prime Directive, it's like our Constitution. Yeah, so they can't interfere in private affairs because we have freedom. No, they weren't supposed to interfere in the global consciousness. Not supposed to give us any technologies.
And they have, right? All the technology that we have is coming from the galactic.
Right, and
Okay.
so that's why they made this. They saw what happened, and they made this prime directive, and they all agreed. All of the different councils agreed that they would handle it in their part of the universe.
Is this new? You said it was something that was just...
Yeah, it was just the last 2 years they met on Ganymede, and they passed it.
We're talking to Dottie Woodward, an energy worker, Channel 2, Galactic Federation, StarFire Energies. Can you explain what Ganymede is?
Ganymede is one of the moons. They have arrows. I don't remember when I was teaching science, and I was trying to teach so much about aerospace and also astronomy. You know how it goes: information in, information out.
Yeah, exactly. So for anybody that's listening that's not understanding third dimension, we live in third dimension right now, correct?
I've heard so many different opinions.
Okay, can you explain?
Let me explain it like this.
Okay.
Everything in this world is energy. Every organ of your body has a frequency of its own. It's like an instrument. Like you have drums that have their own frequency. You have horns. They have their own frequency. Okay. All of our organs have their own frequency, and it's kind of like an orchestra when they're practicing. You have each organ as it has its own frequency, and then together, when you're healthy and you're moving, all of the organs come together, and they play a symphony. It's like a concert, and so that's your soul song. That's what I call it, your soul song, because all of your organs, they have a resonance and a frequency. And so the frequency is actually, to me, it's part of dimensions, because we're on the spectrum of only a small little part of frequencies, vibration, and resonance. And so what happens as you move up and you become more peaceful, more loving, more grateful, you carry grace, and you are no judgment, then you move up the spectrum as your body moves up the spectrum to a different dimension. It's like levels. It's like also like a hierarchy. The dimensions are like a hierarchy, and as you move up and you leave behind the negativity, all of the different emotions, and what we have to do is we have to work through getting rid of all these emotions so we can work up. We can have a higher soul song. And as we get a higher soul song and our organs are working at a higher frequency, they're going to be healthier. They're not going to be as dense. Think of it like soup. You can have clear soup, and then you can have really thick, gunky soup. And what happens is, as you move and get rid of negative emotions, some people have to work on judgment. Some people have to work on fear. Some people there's all different levels of negativity. And so we're all here in this classroom on planet Earth, and we're all trying, because it's better. You have a happier life the more you can work through everything. And so we leave the negativity. We're actually going up to a higher frequency, which would be a different dimension. Some people say that we're in the fourth dimension. I believe that we're moving very slowly up to the fifth dimension, and that's why I think they gave me StarFire to help people, because they told me it would be no judgment. That's one of the things that people need so much to work through, is having no judgment. And that's what they told me StarFire does. It takes away some of the judgment, and you have to work on it, and so it helps.
And judgment on ourselves and judgment to others, is that correct?
Oh, my gosh, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and I keep telling them, like, because I talk to them all the time, like, in my world, you know how you have different channels on your radio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can talk to them and talk to you at the same time.
Do they know you're doing this interview? I'm just curious.
I was saying to them, oh my gosh, what if something goes wrong? They said, don't worry, we have your back.
Oh, so they're part of this. I love it. Can we talk a little bit about star energy? So you get back from Greece, you are a changed person because you have this Kundalini awakening. It's
Right.
2001, super negative world that you're getting back into.
I had the Kundalini awakening on 2001, right before 9/11. I came home, and because I knew that was something really weird. I didn't know it was special. I just thought it was weird. I didn't know what it was. But I noticed that my hands would start buzzing. If I got near a book that I was supposed to read, my palms and my hands would buzz, my fingers would buzz, or the book would fly out of the shelf. I met a woman, a beautiful woman, that was in 2001. She introduced me to Soul Support Systems. When I was in Soul Support Systems, I actually had a lot of soul recognitions. You know, we're like layers of an onion, and so we have all these different layers, and that's why we need to keep working on ourselves all the time. And so when I joined Soul Support Systems, I had a lot of soul recognitions, which helped me clear some things. I learned how to do soul recognitions. I learned circuitry alignment. I learned how to do heart thread. I became a facilitator of all those different modalities that are different energies, and they're all different types of frequencies. My sister attuned me to Reiki in the 1990s, but I never knew what it was. I never even did it. But then in somewhere around 2005, I became a Reiki master teacher. It was like, then I couldn't stop. Like, all kinds of things came to me, and I had to do them. I became a certified hypnotherapist. I was with the National Hypnosis Center for a while, and then I learned the reconnection with Dr. Eric Pearl. I learned how to do that. I became a Mayan master healer with Iraku, and I became an honorary Mayan grandmother. And all of those little steps, learning and doing energy work, I think they just helped me clear what I was doing, because all of a sudden I realized that I was in service to humanity. I mean, there's service to self and service to humanity, and both of them lead up to an expansion.
Were those different modalities, the energy modalities that you were doing, were they help cleaning up some of your negative energy stuff or some of the things that weren't working for you?
Okay, number one, a Reiki practitioner, a Reiki master teacher. When you're doing any of these, it's like Reiki. You have an energy field that's really wide. And so when you're working with someone, you're in their field, and when you're working on them, it actually helps you too. And so what I know is there were a lot of times that I would be doing Reiki or I would be doing something else. It would help me clear. You know, it's like Reiki is an energy that you just lay on the massage table, and then somebody on hands on or hands off, they can help clear you. Intention is the prime creator. So when a healer intends that they're going to work on you, that intention is actually there, and it will help clear you. And so I can tell you that when I do Reiki, most everybody gets in a very gentle relaxation and falls asleep. So, but the clearing, because in Reiki and a lot of other modalities, the energy comes from source. It's out there. It's out on our planet. It's everywhere. And so the energy from source goes into your crown. It goes into your third eye. It goes into your throat chakra. It goes into your heart chakra. It goes down into your solar chakra, into your sacral chakra, into your root, and then it goes down into Mother Earth. And all of these chakras are connected to a beautiful golden pathway. And so as the energy comes down, it goes into your heart, it also spreads out and goes into the palms of your hands. So this energy that a Reiki practitioner or master is utilizing with intent is also clearing them and the client. And so that's the beautiful thing of it. You're getting a pure energy clearing depending on the intention and the ability of the Reiki practitioner or master.
Wow.
So does that explain it?
Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Talking to Dottie Woodward, an energy worker, Channel 2, Galactic Federation, StarFire Energies. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back. And we're going to talk a little bit about spaceships, StarFire Energies, and exactly more on what Dottie is doing to help heal this world. We'll be right back. We're talking to Dottie Woodward, energy worker, Channel 2, the Galactic Federation, and StarFire Energies. Dottie, talk a little bit about the spaceship experiences.
Okay, well, first, in 1963, I had a visitation by a beautiful energy. I don't know what kind of energy he was. It was male. A lot of the memory was gone, and as I got older, the memory started coming back to me. And I think what I remember is they told me, "You're not going to remember this," and I said, in my heart of hearts, I said, "Oh yes, I will." So it took me years before I remember, but before I could remember the whole experience. I don't remember all of it, but I do remember being in a spaceship.
Where were you when they came in 63?
21,
So
22.
You're an adult.
So then when I told you I was doing soul recognitions. I was a facilitator of soul recognitions in soul support systems. What we did was, it was like a 3-day, 4-day experience where people would lay on the massage table, and then their soul would go out and journey. And when the soul came back in, it would give them what they needed. And so what our job was as a facilitator was partly to ground the physical body and also to help them and know that they were loved and that we were there for them. Well, anyhow, we were in Vermont at this beautiful wellness center. It had a really big window that went from the floor to the ceiling. And I was with this one girl that was journeying. So I was helping her kind of on the massage table, and I was grounding her physical body. And all of a sudden I heard the voices in my head say, "Daughter, come to the window." And so I got up and I went to the window, and it was where the wellness center was. It was above the tree level. So you could look out and see the whole horizon and the sky and everything. It was full of spaceships. They were all all kinds of spaceships. And I said, etherically, I didn't say out loud, but I said etherically, I said, what are you guys doing here? And they said, we just want to see what you're doing. Because a lot of times people in a soul recognition, they will cry, they will laugh, because it's the physical part of what their soul has experienced when they're out there journeying. And so they said, we want to see how humans act emotionally, because obviously a lot of them are in a higher dimension. And when you're in a higher dimension, you don't always emote emotion that's lower, like negative. And so what they wanted to do, they wanted to see what we were doing. And I said, okay, well, you can look, but I got to go. I'm working. So I turned around. I went back to the woman I was working with. And so the next day, we were again working, and I heard this, come to the window, we need you. And I went back to the window. It was early morning after breakfast, and here somebody had put the mini blind down, and it got broken. It couldn't go up, and I couldn't get it to go up. And so they said, we want to see. And I said, nope, I'm sorry, the window's broken, so forget it. You guys got to go. So that was my first experience in Vermont. And then in Arizona, it was 2007 to 10. We were in the Sequoia Desert in a ranch, and we were doing healings. We were doing healings for the town people. They were coming to get circuitry alignment or heart thread.
These are all different energy modalities for the body.
Right. I was still with Soul Support System. And so the woman that I was bunking with, we couldn't sleep, and it was like 12:30 at night. And so we said, let's go out and walk the labyrinth. And we went out, and we were standing at the beginning of the labyrinth, and here two other people came out, too. We were standing there talking in the moonlight. It was a full moon. And all of a sudden, we saw these three lights, and they were like right in line, and they were to the north. And they were just slowly, it was like airplanes, but there was no noise. They came right towards us, and they kept going south. There was no noise, and they were just cruising along. and we watched them, and then forgot about it. And then we walked the labyrinth, and when we got home, they had it on the news. Like, it was sighted. There were 3 spaceships that were going to New Mexico or someplace. The last time I saw a spaceship was my Soul Support System group went to Virginia Beach. We were doing all kinds of energy work on each other, and it was a gathering. And so, I don't know, for some reason, I told the people in my car, I said, we need to put some kind of guards out etherically around this house. I don't know why I said that, but so as soon as we got there, we went out, 4 of us, 1 on each side of the house, front and back, and we put an energetic bubble around our house. It was right on the sand. One of the last nights that we were there, it was like 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. We were sitting in the living room. Aivia was the head of Soul Support System. She and I were channeling, not together, but one and then the other. The house had windows all around the 3 sides of the living room, and you could see out to the water. So Aivia was channeling, and I looked out the front where the water was, and I saw this round spaceship come out of the water, and the water was dripping all off of it, all around the sides. And I went to say something like, "Oh my God, look at the spaceship coming out of the water." And next thing I know, there were Black Hawk helicopters. They were up above our roof, and I swear to you, it felt like they were ripping off our roof because they must have been really, really close. Evie looked down at her lap, and she quietly said, "They know we're here."
Whoa, Black Hawk helicopters. That's crazy. Out of those spaceships, did you ever see any galactic beings?
No, I never saw them. The only one I saw was when I was about 20, 22, 23. I never saw him physically. I saw his energy. Like, we all have an energy vortex. We have different colors of our frequency is different colors. Like, frequency has colors and numbers. See the colors of his frequency.
And he was the one that came to you in 63.
Yes.
We're talking to Dottie Woodward, energy worker, channeled to Galactic Federation, and also a creator of StarFire Energies. Let's talk a little bit about the StarFire Energies. When did that start, and what is that exactly?
In 2014, I had been teaching 2 weekends of really intense Reiki up at Hazleton. So I came home Sunday night late, and I was really tired, exhausted, and I went to bed. And I got up the next morning, and I got in the shower. And in 4 seconds, I saw exactly what they said. StarFire, you are supposed to do StarFire Energies. And they said, they showed me the star, the shape, the colors, and how it would be experienced. What my work was to bring it through. I also saw my contract that I had signed eons ago, promising to bring it into this being. And I saw what it does to people. I saw what I would see, all the things that it would do for people. And the main important thing they said was it will take away some of the people's judgment. It works on judgment because that's one thing that everyone has. And so they said, don't be alarmed and don't be sad if not everybody wants it, because it was such an energy that they filled me with in 4 seconds that I barreled out of that shower. I went to tell my friend, and I went on my way to Office Max. I got 5 domain names. They also told me I might need an audio system if I had to talk to crowds. Went to Radio Lab, and I got an office system, a place to get paints, because they showed me the color of the StarFire. I was covered with paint for 2 weeks. I had to make the star because they showed me what the star looked like, and so that actually is StarFire. That's my StarFire label, is the star. When I do StarFire attunements or alignments, I give everybody a card with a star on it. The Galactics told me that the blue has a very high frequency energy, and so a lot of people put them in there. Even if they don't get the StarFire attunement, they put the picture in their office or wherever because they like it. When I first took the painting of StarFire to Office Max to get it copied, one guy was way over on the other side of Office Max. He came running when he saw I don't know how he saw the picture. It was laying on the counter, but he came running over. He said, "What is that? What is that?" Explain the painting to him.
Because you got basically a download getting into the shower of all of this. And then you get out of the shower and you're like, I got to get going. Get my domain, get audio, and now I got to create this star that I see that I got as a download all within 4 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, the really neat thing was they showed me my contract, and it was like a whole. You know how you have a composition page with lines on? Mm-hmm. It showed me my contract apparently, in different lifetimes, it was different signatures. And a couple of them were really, really weird signatures. Like, I felt like saying, oh, I wonder who I was then when I was...
Who was I signing? So in every lifetime, you've signed a contract for the StarFire energies. Is that correct?
Yeah.
This is amazing. So do you think that the StarFire energies is the first time in this lifetime, or have you had it in the past? Have you brought it out into the past and was a healer somewhere in your past lives?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what they showed me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why the contract was from others, because you just keep redoing the contract. Talk about a little bit of the transmissions. This is all in person. This is stuff that you do not do online, on Zoom.
I joined a remote viewing group last year or the year before last, and they heard about StarFire and they wanted an attunement, and I did it over Zoom. But when I do energy work, I feel like I want to do it myself, coming through me. And so, okay, I'll tell you what happens. What happens when I do StarFire? I was laying in bed one night, and I was talking to them, and I said, I need some kind of words, because, English language is very limited. Being an elementary school teacher, everything had to be simple for me to be able to convey the ideas of what I wanted them to know. I was laying in bed, and I said, can you give me some words that will help people understand what StarFire energy is? And they said, tell them to think about updating a computer. You have to update a computer. You have to update your cell phone. And when your car, sometimes you buy a new car, you have to update your car. They said that's what StarFire is. It's a gentle, gradual, expanding aligning through you into a higher dimension. You evolve slowly. And so it takes you, first of all, when I do it to a person, I take them by the hand, I get into my space, I connect with my star elders in my council, and then they give me an affirmation for the person. It doesn't come from me. It comes from them to the person. And I want to tell you, I have seen people that were shocked because they know the person better than I do, because I'm usually starfiring strangers. So anyhow, I hold their hand. I go into a connection with the star elders, and they give me an affirmation to say, and then I turn the person around. You have a star chakra 12 inches or so above your head. I start by attuning that star chakra above your head, and then the person has to say the sentence the star elders told me to tell them. And then I put the activation on their back between their shoulder blades, and then they have to say the affirmation again. Then I turn the person around. I put the energy, the StarFire energy, into the palms one at a time. Your right palm and then your left palm, and I can see the light from the StarFire energy going up the meridians of the human body and lighting up the axonal lines or the meridian lines and portals. And then I go down to the chest, and then I go down to the feet, and there's a earth star chakra below your feet, and I attune that too. I do the chest last, and then that's all it is. It takes like 5, no more than 10 minutes.
It's a transmission. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can do this in groups. Do you usually do it in groups, or do you do it individually?
I can do it in groups. I don't like to do more than 10 or no more than 15 people, because I had a team We went to England. We were working in Rosslyn Chapel. We came down through Wales. We came down through England. I did a StarFire attunement inside Stonehenge, and then we went to Glastonbury. And then we did the women that have the Chalicewell Gardens. I got to tell you, we walked into the Chalicewell Gardens, and I was walking around the room looking about, okay, we're going to do a StarFire workshop. Where should I sit? Where should I put everybody? And I walked past this beautiful, tall English woman. She was wrapped in this red shawl, and I went past her, and she said, "Oh my gosh, my Ashtar commander! I see you."
Do you?
She said, "You're the other Ashtar commander."
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I know. I've had a couple people say that to me, but
love the work that you are doing. I mean, I'm just in awe right now, to be honest with you. And it blows my mind of where you've been and what you're doing. And I like your downloads and all that stuff. I want to talk about the transmission a little bit more. When you're doing this transmission, the StarFire Energies transmission, are you doing more work? Is there a meditation that you do before, or is it about 10, 15 minutes that people are getting transmissions and then they're out the door? They come in, they go out.
Okay, Tanya. When I do a workshop with 10 or 15 people, what I do is I introduce myself and tell them a little bit about me, because they need to know that I'm serious about what I do and how StarFire came about. And then I do a guided meditation to clear their chakras so that when they do get the StarFire attunement, that they'll have, it'll be clear. And so then I go around the circle and I give each one of them the StarFire, and it takes like 5 minutes to do each one, maybe even less. And then I do a guided meditation that brings in the light and locks it in, which I don't have to do, but I like to do it because it actually it puts people in a relaxation state and allows them to realize what happened to them.
Okay. And can I ask why would somebody want to do a StarFire energy transmission?
You know what? Well, the point of it is it's an expanding, aligning, remembering. It helps you remember where you came from the stars and from a different dimension. A lot of people believe that we came from Lyra, and Lyra it became infused with negative energies that came in, and so we had to go out and settle in different parts of the universe. And so we came to Earth because at that point Earth was a beautiful place to be before it was inundated with negativity and duality. I just know that I was told in that 4 seconds, they said, you can't be sad when people don't always want it. Because everybody's in their own space, in their own time, walking their own path, and people will know. They'll know the words. They'll know that they'll see the star. Whatever happens, they will understand and know that they need it. And they said, you have to be good with that. And I have to tell you, sometimes I just wish I could give it to everybody to help them. It's like Reiki. I wish I could teach everybody Reiki, because it opens you up to a higher energy form.
And it sounds like expansion, like helps us expand more, especially as we're coming into this world faster. Consciousness is becoming mainstream. It feels like people are talking about it more. People are waking up more.
Yes, they are. We talk about the dimensions, and the dimensions, people think it's like a line. And it's like you draw the line, you're on one side of the line, and then you just hop over to the other side and you're in a different dimension. But that's not how it is. There's spaces. There's like spaces between each dimension that you have to gradually. It's like when you're in first grade. You can't go to high school because you don't know. You haven't learned all that wisdom that you need between elementary and high school. So, yeah, we're working our way up to, as far as I'm concerned, fifth dimension. Some people say there's 12 dimensions. Some people say there's 11.
Yeah, I've heard all over right now. I mean, I've heard that. We're wrapping this up, but I want to say, for people that are interested in learning a little bit more about StarFire Energies, are you teaching? Because you said you had a team at one time. Are you doing any teaching or anything?
I'm coming to Austin.
I heard this. I'm actually really excited about this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, July the 11th to the 14th, I'm going to be, and she's in charge of what's happening, the workshops and the channeling.
Okay, and so and this is going to be really exciting because you're actually going to be physically here. You're going to be able to do some transmissions. You're going to do some workshops. We're going to have you here in Austin, which is going to be beautiful. Straight on. Are you doing any other teachings? Can people be Can somebody be a practitioner of StarFire Energies?
When I was teaching Reiki, I wrote my own book. And so I said, okay, let's do StarFire. So 7, 8. I had 8 StarFire facilitators, but what happens is they get immersed in their life. You know, life has been really pretty sticky lately, and so yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Can I ask you a little bit about the Galactic Federation right now before we end?
Sure.
Is there any messages that they want to send out to us as humans? Is there any information, any messages that they want us to know before we wrap up?
Okay, just a minute till I connect. Yes, we see you. We see you at this time, and we know that which you are wondering. We say to you at this time, there is so much that you are dealing with, and we ask you to be patient with that which we are seeing also. We tell you that this shall pass, and you shall be in a but much brighter space. And we say to you, be gentle with yourself, be kind, be gentle, and know that this too shall pass. We know that there are ones that are telling you that this will pass, but we also know in your heart of hearts, you are not sure, and you are skeptical of that which will be seen and not heard. And so we say to you, look at this time in your life as one that will be so much better, but it's like walking through a storm. There is a storm ahead that you will be walking through. And if you keep your knowing and you keep your gift of love and gentleness and kindness, we know that you can do this. As you walk through the differences, you will find as you come through this year and next, you will find so much more love, much more laughter and kindness and tears of love that we say to you, you are so much more than you have ever even imagined that you are. You are love, you are gentleness, you are kindness. So we say to you, be that which you can be. Be that which we know you are. We honor you and we love you as that, the human, that we see in you, the light, the love. And we say to you, it is your time now to work on that which you can work on in the time that you have as you're walking through the storm. And your energy must be dialed down so that the grace and the peace can be carried through your heart. We love you. We honor you. We are with you. Know that we are with you. We have your back also, and we are kind and loving and want so much for you as we see in your future. So walk your path, my darlings, and be all that you can be, for we see you. We love you. It is so, and so it is.
Wow. Thank you so much. What a beautiful message. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So honored. Dottie, thank you so much for being part of the show tonight. I really, truly appreciate you. Dottie Woodward, she is an energy worker, channeled to the Galactic Federation, founder of StarFire Energies here on this planet. And as we just heard from one of the galactic beings, thank you, Dottie, so much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. Thank you.